What's up, everybody? Man, back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're gonna do another Godzilla King of the Monsters news and updates. Alright, chapter time's the description below. Skip to whichever story you want. We're gonna jump into it with some art here. This first, actually a lot of this art, there's a whole bunch. I'm not gonna say his name over and over again because I can hardly say it once. Leaky Bobby Be Boop. I definitely don't know if I said that right, but I'm not gonna actually try and say that right, so that's what you get, buddy. He sent me a whole bunch of art, so I'm just gonna show it all off here right now at once. He's got a King of the Monsters set featuring Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, and Rodan. His Ghidorah is an estimation of what Ghidorah might look like frozen in ice. I'd say that's a good guess. Also, there's no way in the world you can convince me I'm looking at anything but Spider-Man wrapped up in female Doc Ock's tentacles right here, because that's definitely what I'm looking at. And I say female Doc Ock because I'm assuming this is some dope Into the Spider-Verse fan art, as we can see, I believe, Peter B. Parker here in his sweatpants talking to, I'd assume Miles, but maybe not. I can't quite tell who he's talking to. Either way, Into the Spider-Verse is an amazing movie, and I'm dying to see it again. What are we doing? We're talking about Godzilla? Okay. This guy also did his rendition of the Ghidorah picture that we'll be showing off in a little bit, and he also did a drawing version of the Godzilla vs. Ghidorah picture that we'll show off here in a little bit. Pretty sweet. He did a great job. Finally, he sent us his Godzilla King of the Monsters anime poster. This one was apparently for me, as it says on here, which is pretty sweet. Thank you very much. I like it a lot. You got that silhouette of Godzilla rising up out of the water, breathing the atomic breath into the sky, standing up, swimming up to the cart. You got Ghidorah here. You got Rodan flying away from the plane. You got the Mothra larva head. This is awesome. You got everything you could possibly want on here, and you've got your human characters, which is sweet because most people don't actually draw the human characters, so it's cool to see them here. Godzilla King of the Monsters. All right, next art piece is from GNA. It's a pretty cool one. It's like a silhouette shot of Ghidorah, very colorful. The colors are actually the weirdest part of this. It's like a blacked out version of Ghidorah with the gold, but then there's also like red mixed in here. Very interesting. Good job, GNA. We also have a Godzilla set that comes to us from someone who I believe is named Lewis M. We've shown off this picture of Godzilla in the mountains before, but he also did a King Ghidorah, which just looks amazing. I love the lightning streaks going across Ghidorah's body. He also did one of Mothra flying over a lake or the ocean. Looks very beautiful. It got a little bit of a Skull Island vibe going on here, even though I don't think it's actually supposed to be, considering we see a little pagoda in the background. And then finally we have one of Rodan emerging from the volcano that just looks beautiful with the red sun in the background looking like the Japanese flag. I love it. Great job. Next up, we have one final piece here. This is from Matt Frank. It is a fierce looking Mothra drawing. I don't know. She looks very praying mantis-like in this image. Very scary. I don't think Mothra is going to look quite that scary in the movie. I mean, we do have that one shot where she roars into the camera and she looks just like this. That's what Matt Frank was clearly basing this on. But this Mothra, man, she could go toe-to-toe with Rodan right here. This Mothra is pretty intimidating. Definitely could kick the crap out of that old Showa Mothra. We have a little bit of news regarding the Godzilla King of the Monsters NECA figures. Not much to talk about here. They are going to be between $23 to $25, and they will all be sold at GameStop, so go get yours from GameStop. That should be sweet. They'll go up on pre-order before that, and that's probably where most of us will get them, but hey, maybe you want to wait for GameStop. I don't know. There was a new Godzilla King of the Monsters poster that came out. This one's the Japanese poster for the film. It's pretty freaking sweet, guys. It's Godzilla fighting Ghidorah in, I believe, DC. I don't think that's Boston. Boston doesn't have a Capitol building that looks quite like that, I don't believe. So you have the Godzilla vs. Ghidorah fight happening here in DC. It looks super cool. Some people have been pretty harsh on the Photoshop of Godzilla in here, but I think it looks fine. Ghidorah looks super cool in this poster, and then some people have pointed out that the rubble up here in the foreground looks like Rodan's dead body, potentially. I don't know. That looks about as Rodan to me as the Rodan from the Operation Hedorah clip of Godzilla Monster Planet. That never looked like Rodan to me either, so neither of these look quite like Rodan. We also got like a back of the box thing for this. I don't know what this comes from. It's a little back of the poster image for Godzilla King of the Monsters from Japan. The only thing that's new here is a new image of Dr. Serizawa, and it doesn't tell us anything. The Total Film magazine article that we broke down in the last video released two covers for Godzilla King of the Monsters. The first one is this really cool image of a very blue looking Godzilla standing in the ocean with a burning city behind him. He's roaring towards the camera. This looks crazy. His tail looks so long. He does look massive in this shot. I think this is a super cool image right here. I don't know what it is about the head, but something makes him look a little weird and different, and I kind of like it. The next one is, I think, a better image. It's Godzilla going into battle here with the military backing him up. That's awesome. And then someone did a rendition of that without the text around it, which I think looks a little cooler, with Godzilla going into battle with the military firing rockets all around him. Pretty sweet. So those are our two Total Film magazine covers. Coming out of the Total Film magazine, we got a whole bunch of HD images. I'll show off the ones that were in the Total Film magazine that we don't have HD stills of quite yet. We have a new image of O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Thomas Middleditch sitting down together. We have seen this in the trailer. This one's just an unsaturated version of it. This one's the one without color corrections done. We also have an image of Millie Bobby Brown. I don't know who this dude is, either of these dudes, and Emma Russell in the Temple of the Moth. Pretty cool. We can see the actual mural, the Temple of the Moth mural behind them, so that's pretty sweet. We have an image here of Dr. Serizawa on the first page. There's like a little PNG of him that we haven't seen before, so that's cool. And then we have another one for Dr. Graham as well. We also have an image here of our Monarch characters. So you got, who is this? Mark Russell, Thomas Middleditch's character, whose names I forget. You have Barnes, played by O'Shea Jackson Jr., and then you have Zaya Zhang up front here, and they are all looking at who I believe is Godzilla swimming up outside their Monarch base. All right, and those should be all the ones from the Total Film magazine that we don't have actual HD stills of. The ones that we do have HD stills of are really cool, so let's talk about them. First off, we have a behind the scenes image of Dr. Serizawa. It looks like he's getting out of some sort of, I don't know, submarine maybe. There's water on it. It's clearly wet. He's getting out of some sort of submarine, standing up here looking at something. I believe we can place this in Godzilla's temple, maybe closer to the middle or end of the film, but I believe this will be Serizawa going to contact Godzilla after Godzilla fights Ghidorah for probably the first time. I think Godzilla is going to fight Ghidorah, probably lose. He might tussle with Rodan immediately afterward, and that'll leave him weakened. And then he'll go hang out in his temple. Serizawa will come and give him a little bit of a supercharged boost. But that looks like what we're seeing here is a behind the scenes image of that. We also have an HD image of Emma Russell and Madison Russell being kidnapped by Charles Dance's character and his army. These soldiers are definitely dead. We do see a whole bunch of these guys, not these specific people, but soldiers like this, dead in trailer 1 when G-Team storms Charles Dance's base. I guess it's actually not his base, is it? It's a Monarch facility. I believe it's Outpost 31, something like that. 31 or 32, I can't quite remember. Either way, we got a picture of Charles Dance kidnapping them. We have seen an image of these two before, after they've been kidnapped, so this is just in line with that. Next up is an image of King Ghidorah. Oh my god, this is probably our best look at Ghidorah. It looks amazing. Is he coming out of the volcano right now? Like, not, obviously he's not coming out of it. Rodan comes out of it. But is he right next to the volcano that Rodan comes out of? You can see the lava here in the bottom right of the image, and it's awesome. The lightning striking around Ghidorah. So cool. Ghidorah's necks are actually looking pretty small in this image, I will say. It's probably just because his wings are so proportionally huge that his necks look small, but in this specific image, not in all the other images, his necks look very small. I think he is going to be roaring at Rodan. I think this will be either right before or during their battle together, so that'll be really cool to see. I can't wait for it. And you can see the slight differences in each heads. You can't really see it clearly, but you can see slight differences in each heads here, specifically with the horns on the middle head. They're a bit more curved than the horns on the other heads, and the horns on the head that is closest to us, so that's Ghidorah's left head, they're a bit smaller than the other horns, and you can see the extra row of spines going down the middle head's neck. I really like the wraparound image here with the bat-like wings. Looks super cool. This is a very badass picture. Also, probably the coolest thing about it is Michael Dougherty tweeted this out with the caption, "The Golden Demise," who of course we all know that's Mephies and the Golden Demise. So that is so cool. Does that mean that Michael Dougherty is a fan of the Godzilla anime? I'm not sure. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just doing it for us fans. Either way, really cool caption. It could have been a coincidence. Maybe he's actually never seen it and didn't know, but I like to think that he did that intentionally. The Golden Demise, you know, I've said this on the channel before and I'll say it again, Anime Ghidorah is my favorite incarnation of the character so far. So I'm really hoping that King of the Monsters one-ups it so that King of the Monsters can be my favorite Ghidorah. All right, next up, this is our last image. It is a picture of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. We have a full scan of it, and then we have an HD scan of it. Both of them are technically HD. It's just one of them is more high definition than the other, but the one that's more high definition is is a bit more cropped than the other. Doesn't really matter. This comes from the Total Film Magazine article, and we actually do see a little bit more of the image in the Total Film Magazine article with Godzilla's tail here. It's so cool. It's Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah, our best look at Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah to date. I can't quite tell what Ghidorah is doing here. It's kind of hard to see. It looks like we have the right wing up in the camera and two of the heads are tucked underneath the frame. It's hard to tell what we're looking at in the background there. I really don't know. What I do know is that Ghidorah is so big in this image that his head actually wraps around a building. That's how huge he is that he's wrapped around a building right now. That is crazy. I cannot wait to see this in the movie. He's probably going to pull that thing down onto Godzilla, I'd assume. It's going to be so cool to watch. And then, of course, we've got a really cool image of Godzilla here with the awesome new 54 dorsal fins on his back, all glowing blue, so I assume he's supercharged right here. All glowing blue. He is just looking awesome. This is going to be so cool to see play out. This might be my favorite image we have seen from the movie to date. It's just awesome. I don't know. That's all I can say about it. So what do you guys think about all this, all these new still images, everything else going on with Godzilla King of the Monsters? Are you as hyped as me? I'm sure you are. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man, out.